Do you know what an RWA is? Probably not. Maybe that's why you're clicking on this video. Maybe you think you know what they are, but you want to learn even more. Amazing. I think this video is going to serve all of those purposes. But chances are, if you have ever traded a cryptocurrency in your lifetime, you've probably used or held one and you didn't even know it. So what is a real-world asset? Why are they growing in popularity as a cryptocurrency investment? I will be covering all of that in today's video, as well as how they work and the challenges that they face now and in the future. If you all enjoy videos like these where we do a deep dive into different cryptocurrencies specifically and topics regarding cryptocurrencies, please hit the like button. And if you have more suggestions or requests for videos like this, let me know your ideas down below in the comments. Look forward to seeing it. So what are real-world assets in terms of a cryptocurrency? Well, the name kind of gives it away. You can think of physical things like gold, real estate like houses, and also we're going to lump in stocks in here. Even though they're not really a physical thing, they are definitely tied to the traditional financial system. And RWAs as a cryptocurrency, they are the tokenization of assets that are involved in the traditional financial system. So how are these physical assets turned into digital tokens in a cryptocurrency? By magic? No. They can be organized in several different ways, but most of them do require a type of centralization in order to function. And those that do have this centralized bottleneck, if you will, those types of RWAs will see more difficult hurdles to overcome to survive, both in terms of regulations and also security, compared to those that are organized in a more decentralized manner. Keep watching if you'd like to learn more on that. But suffice to say that RWAs as a cryptocurrency make it much more easy to trade and leverage the value of real-world assets using blockchain technology. What they do is they open up even more investment opportunities to people that maybe that wasn't even an option. Much like how cell phones and the internet have done so much to connect those people who are in remote places in Africa, for example, those tools have connected those people socially. Cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology can do the very same thing to them economically. So let's take a peek behind the curtain. How does the magic work? How do you turn a physical asset like a house or a bar of gold into a token? How do you tokenize that? How do you create it into a cryptocurrency to be represented on a blockchain, to be traded globally 24 hours a day? How do you leverage a physical object onto a digital economy? The first thing you're going to need to do is assess the valuation of the asset in question. And at the end of this video, I'm going to go over different crypto projects that work to do just that. But the next step after the valuation process is actually the creation of the digital token, maybe it's an NFT, that represents that asset on the blockchain. And of course, what good is a token if you can't trade it? So the last step is, of course, to enable these tokens to be traded and on as many different types of blockchains as possible, because that's where you get the most exposure and the most liquidity for those tokens as well. RWAs can be created using a combination of different characteristics. The first one being the location of the collateral, the location of the actual thing backing the token. It can be off-chain. For example, a painting in real life is represented as an NFT, or it can be on-chain, for example, like another cryptocurrency. Also, the type of backing, whether it is on-chain or off-chain, can also be further characterized by being a direct or an indirect backing of the RWA. So for example, again, for the painting, there's one painting and one NFT representing that painting. That painting is one-to-one. It is a direct backing. Or you can take an example of, let's say, USDT, a stablecoin, where one USDT token is represented of a basket of other assets that have an equal valuation of one USD. The The valuation is the same of the backing, but the actual component backing the token is comprised of a multiple of different things, perhaps derivatives. For example, crypto projects like Chainlink work to discover the true valuations of these assets through the use of their oracles. But whenever we are talking about a physical asset, again, like a house or a painting or a bar of gold, these types of valuations do require centralization because a physical object can only be in one place at one time, and there's no hashing to prove its authenticity like we get with cryptocurrencies. You know, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies cannot be counterfeited through the use of the encryption and the algorithms of the creation of those tokens. Ensures and makes it very easy to verify the authenticity of a cryptocurrency. Now, real-world physical assets do not have those same benefits. That's why counterfeiting and forgeries of paintings happen all of the time. And so it's worth it to note that any RWA that is reliant on a physical object is going to be requiring a type of centralization. And that centralization is a really easy target for regulators, for governments to come in, meddle, require a lot of information. Maybe it's not going to be very easy to be regulated if that project falls into a jurisdiction where it is not crypto friendly and they're not really trying to facilitate the growth of the tokenized economy. So in this point in time, a decentralized way to verify a physical object is a solution yet to be discovered. Again, Chainlink is working with different partnerships with their different oracles to achieve this, but it's not there yet. And maybe there's others that are working on it as well. If you know some, please let me know in the comments down below. Now, 2 weeks ago, I did post a video about Chainlink that went much more in depth over what they're currently working on, what it actually does, how the Oracle systems work, and how they achieve honesty within their Oracle systems for this type of verification. If you missed that one, or if you need a refresh, I will post a link to that video down below in the video description. So where are these projects that are working to tokenize our economy? Of the traditional financial economy, bringing it onto the blockchain, a new frontier for investing. There's a lot of new projects. There's a lot of projects that are currently live. So first we have Ondo, perhaps the least inspirational in my opinion, but they offer USD and Treasury tokens backed by US Treasuries and US deposits. They also invest in ETFs, for example, like BlackRock and PIMCO. They're backed by Coinbase and Pantera, and they have experience with Goldman Sachs and MakerDAO. Lots of names there that don't exactly coincide with the real ethos of cryptocurrency, but it shows a real interest from the traditional financial sector on the potential profits that they can make leveraging blockchain technology, offering a new version of what they're already offering, and they can make even more profit doing so. This next one's a little bit more cool. It's called Realty. They are tokenizing real estate. In fact, they allow for the fractional ownership of properties through tokenization that are rented and earn yield. We also have 4K.com, which is bringing the collectible marketplace on chain. So think luxury watches, comics, Pokemon cards, cars. These assets are sent to a verified Guardian facility, and you will receive an NFT once your assets have been appraised. All assets are then insured and authenticated, and you can make your trades on their marketplace. So what's the future of RWAs? Of course, there is a ton of potential. BlackRock ain't messing around. They want to tokenize everything, and RWAs obviously play a real clear role in that. But we are still very early, and the methods of verification and securing of these assets definitely needs to be built out. But keep in mind that the traditional financial marketplace is huge, and they have yet to tap into the DeFi space. So what will that mean for DeFi as this ocean of traditional finance enters the world of tokenization? And they're going to obviously see a real benefit to participating in the free market that is the cryptocurrency's place as we know it. And those of us who are in now are going to benefit massively. And you know what an ocean, that ocean from the traditional finance, you know what an ocean has? A lot of liquid. And that means a lot of liquidity is going to come into DeFi as well. So for those of you who have been putting in the time and suffering through the lack of liquidity in DeFi, I think that will be changing very soon in the years to come. Probably not even that long. But that is a double-edged sword, because the risks also come from tapping into the traditional financial system. That means that those guys that have figured out how to rig those systems are coming into play with blockchain and other cryptocurrencies. Now, I think we've been seeing that for a while, ever since the Bitcoin futures ETF were passed, what was in 2018, I believe. And now with the spot ETFs as well, there's price manipulation, and what kind of manipulation can it go on with RWAs will remain to be seen. But these guys love to rig the game, and I don't think that their involvement in DeFi will change that whatsoever. So be wary of platforms that are being brought to you by guys like Goldman Sachs or BlackRock. I'm going to go ahead and include Coinbase now, because BlackRock has Coinbase in their back pocket. Other risks for those of you who are looking to tokenize your assets that you have, of course, a big risk that you need to consider is the securing of your actual physical asset, especially if you are participating in platforms like 4K.com, where you're actually sending your asset to a third party. It's very similar to the third-party risk that you participate in when you're using things like centralized exchanges or centralized lending platforms, where you're sending, you're giving custody of your investments, of your assets, to someone else. So please keep that in mind as well. That's going to wrap it up for this video on RWAs. Thank you so much for watching. I know that you learned something new. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and if you have any requests for videos like this in the future, I'm happy to hear it. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe. I sure appreciate it. I'll see you later.